More than 6 decades on from its Broadway debut, Fiddler on the Roof continues to resonate. A celebrated revival opens tonight at Sydney's Theatre Royal, starring stage and screen legend Sigrid Thornton, who plays one of theatre's best-known matchmakers. Well, Sigrid Thornton, it is so good to see you.
It's lovely to be here, Ange.
We've just seen these amazing pictures and sound of the Fiddler on the roof of the Theatre Royal,
Literally.
which is where you open tonight. How extraordinary.
Yeah, it is extraordinary. And the Fiddler, as audience members will see when they come, is a much more integral part of this particular production than he's ever been before. And he's really like the muse or the little bird on the shoulder of Tevier, our hero.
Tradition! Tradition! Tradition!
It's such a much-loved, theatrical classic. And I think everybody's got a memory of it from somewhere. It may be the film, it may be they've seen previous productions, they may have been lucky enough to see something overseas over the years. But why does it keep coming back? What is the strength of this show?
Well, it is a classic, and that's a classic is by its very nature something that people want to see again and again, and it's able to be reinvented and kind of brought into a new period of sociological history. And I think that that's definitely the case with this production of Fiddler, because it has been, if you like, sort of modernised. But the show itself is just a sort of little jewel. It's the music is beautiful, every single song is beautiful, but also the show is really about it's universal themes. It's family, it's community, it's connection, belonging, love. Also dispossession, which is a universal scourge at the moment. So very, very contemporary, as a matter of fact.
Tell me about Yenta, who you play. Now, have I said that correctly? Because I always want to make sure I get the names correct.
Yenta. She is the matchmaker of the village of Anatevka, where our musical is set, our story. And she is her job, in her view, the most important job in the village, because her job is about procreation and it's about bringing people together.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, you know that I'm still very young. Please, take your time.
And she is, in fact, a much better alternative to Tinder, I have to say.
Oh my gosh! You absolutely. They say arranged marriages. Someone told me this in Indonesia once, who was from an arranged marriage. He said, in a love match, you see all the good things, and then you start to see the bad. In an arranged marriage, you see all the bad things, and then you start to see the good. So that would be Yenta's view.
Your co-star this year, or one of your co-stars this year, is the magnificent John Waters.
Yes.
Now, you two, I mean, for those of us who can remember, and I certainly do, we've been glued to the TV watching you two and All the Rivers Run a few years back. Have you worked together?
Just a few years.
Well, let's not get too specific. We can both remember, so it mustn't be too long ago.
That's right.
Have you two worked together since then?
Never.
You are kidding?
No, never since then. We worked together for the first time on a film called The Getting of Wisdom, which was a few years before All the Rivers Run. And that's when we first met. We didn't get to know one another. We really got to know one another on All the Rivers Run. And this bond it's a lifelong bond, It really is. And it's really just like we saw one another around the corner whenever we meet up. And it is quite glorious to have John as a colleague on this show, where, we're such bonded friends, and it's someone to kind of take your arm when the going gets rough, which it hasn't really been rough at all on this show. We've got a beautiful cast. We're very connected. Yeah.
You mentioned the songs before. You seldom get so many hit songs from one musical. It's the holy grail if you can.
It's true.
And can you pick a favourite?
Oh, you know what? Because Ange, they rattle around in my head in the middle of the night, which sometimes that adds to my insomnia, but it's always pleasant in its own little way.
If I were a rich man, yabba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dibba-dum. All day long I biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man.
Often sometimes it's if I were a rich man, sometimes it's Far From the Home I Love, which is a song that some viewers may not be as familiar with, but a very beautiful song sung in our production by the wonderful Ellen Ebbs. The whole cast is they shine. It's gorgeous.
And when you hear performances like that, you get that special feeling that I think you only get in the theatre, when the hairs on your arms stand up and you just know you're seeing something spectacular.
Yeah.
I think as we read so many stories about musical theatre doing it tough, I think we need to remind people that there's only one place you can get that feeling,
It's
and
true.
that's being in the audience.
It's a flesh and blood experience, and you know, no amount of AI is ever going to replace theatre, because the sensation that everybody experiences, not just the people on the stage. Of course, we experience it in spades, but there's a communication and a communion, I should say, really, between audience and storytellers that is like no other. And I think that people really need to be in a theatre to know that. So people who've never been to the theatre, give it a go one day on a show that, you know, you just try it out, because it is really quite magical. And there's so many stories that you will have heard, 1,000 million stories of people who tell you about the first time they ever went into a theatre and just caught the bug.
I've been fortunate enough to interview you a great many times over the years,
Me
and
too.
and we will continue to do that, let me assure you. But for so many different things, I'm just thinking, so, you know, it might have been for a great TV series, it might have been for a stage performance, it might have been for a musical, or it might have been for The Jungle. You
Oh
have
my God,
literally
The
done it all.
Jungle.
How was The Jungle?
The Jungle.
I want you to open your eyes and have a look at this. This is something to behold. Take this in. What you are doing
It's so
is
beautiful.
truly amazing.
It's really beautiful.
It's amazing. You're doing so well.
It is. It's amazing.
It's not necessarily the most pleasant experience, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Always good to catch up with you, and I will say, in the great tradition of theatre, for tonight, chookers.
Thank you, Ange. Thank you. We're looking forward to it enormously.